Afternoon. Agenda item 1 is the appointment of chair. I'm happy to chair this meeting this afternoon. Can I have a proposer and a seconder, please?
I would like to propose the Leader of Council.
Thank you, Alan.
Second that, Leader.
Thank you, Wyndham. Chair's announcements. So, good afternoon and croeso prynawn da, and welcome to this meeting of the Cabinet on the 6th of March 2024. Can I welcome any members of the public viewing this meeting? And please, can I ask you to ensure your microphones are switched to off? You are here to observe the meeting only. Members and officers, please ensure that your phones are switched to silent for the duration of the meeting and that your microphones are switched to mute unless you are speaking. And can I ask you to please raise your Teams hand if you're online and your actual hands here in the chamber if you want to indicate to speak. Agenda item 3 are declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest from members? Please, would you members say what the interest is on the page it's on? And Jane will then take a record and send you an electronic version of a form that you complete and email back to her. So are there any declarations of interest?
I can see none, Chair.
Thank you, Jane. Agenda item 4, a public question time. I have received no notifications for public to speak at today's meeting. Agenda item 5 is the revenue budget proposals 2024-2025. The report is on pages 3 to 102 and is here for a decision. I will now ask Hugh Jones, the Chief Finance Officer, if he has anything further to add.
Nothing to add, Chair, but just obviously take on board the comments from the Scrutiny Committee going forward. So, thank you.
Thank you, Hugh. Can I ask members if they have any questions on this agenda item? I'll go to the Cabinet Member for Finance first, Councillor Noyle.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to say at this point, in terms of the revenue budget moving forward, hopefully, that I was encouraged at Staff Council earlier this week to hear the praise that these budget proposals had from the unions. They thought that they were a set of good proposals and they thanked us for working in partnership with them and the workforce regarding the issue of protecting jobs and services. We were also thanked by the unions for taking on board the comments received and adjusting our proposals that came out just before Christmas to suit. They actually said that the council were thanked for being a listening council. And in terms of the increases to some of the directorates, that was also highly acknowledged by the unions, as well as saying that they believe this was a now forward-thinking council. Just wanted to put those points out there from Staff Council because I think it's important that the union context is levied into this as well. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Noyle. Councillor Llewellyn, please.
Yes, thank you. Diolch yn fawr, Owain, and thank you, Leader. I'd like to thank Mr Hugh Jones and his team and all the directors and the very many staff who have been part of preparing this budget, and also, of course, to Cabinet colleagues. It is, of course, almost a year-long process to calculate the council budget, and we have benefited from the early work led by our Chief Executive to engage all parts of the authority in discussing ideas and proposals to achieve our aim of protecting jobs and services and keeping our council tax level as reasonable as we can, given the unprecedented pressures that local government has faced in the past 2 years. So may I express my appreciation also to everyone who participated in the budget consultation, all our residents and stakeholders, and also in the earlier Let's Keep Talking campaign, which has helped shape the final budget proposals. Thanks to scrutiny members for the questions and suggestions for future improvements of the process. I'm not quite sure why a minority of scrutiny members opposed the budget, as there were no counter proposals before us today, but I'd like to thank the Scrutiny Committee overall for their support, and I ask Cabinet colleagues to approve the budget to be taken to full council tomorrow.
Thank you, Councillor Llewellyn. Councillor Neath Jenkins, please.
Sorry, I couldn't get the mic to work then. Thank you, Leader. Just to add my thanks as well, really, it's significant that education, leisure and lifelong learning has had an increase in the funding this year, which is 4.3% for schools and 4.6% for the whole of the education, lifelong learning directorate. It's worth pointing that we are facing significant challenges, especially in the delegated budget, and that's a historical problem with underfunding of our TA hours, and most recently then, the unfunded teachers' pay rise, with the knock-on effect of what that would mean for schools and the department with the unfunding of pensions as well. So I'd like to offer my wholehearted thanks. I know our officers have worked very hard on this, and I repeat what Councillor Llewellyn said. I would encourage our members to vote for this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Jenkins. Any further comments from Cabinet members? Don't see any. I certainly support what members have said. I looked an awful lot younger before at the start of the process than I do now, I can assure you. We all know how difficult budget settings are. We've all been there and we all work closely together. I think it is important that when a good budget that is tabled here today is supported, I think that's critical by all members, and hopefully that will be the case this afternoon and tomorrow at full council. So thank you for that. I now refer members to the recommendations on pages 31 and 32 within your agenda packs. I'm happy to propose this agenda item. Can I have a seconder, please?
I'm happy to second.
Thank you, Simon. Can I ask if there's any abstentions, please?
I can see none, Chair.
Thank you, Jane. Members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you are in favour of the recommendations, and Jane will confirm this for me.
I can see no raised hands in contrary to the recommendation, so the item's been approved.
Thank you, Jane. Agenda item 6 is the Capital Strategy and Capital Programme 2024-2025 to 2026-2027. The report is on pages 103 to 122 and is here for a decision. Again, can I ask you if he has anything further to add?
Oh, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, do you have any questions on the Capital Strategy and Capital Programme item? Alan?
Diolch yn fawr. Thanks, leaders. Just a brief comment, really, just to note that despite the pressures on us as a local authority, there is a tremendous range within this report of investment in infrastructure and projects across the county borough. Of course, as well as our own capital funding, we have continued to be successful in attracting external funding, such as our second successful levelling up allocation. And I appreciate that scrutiny members have welcomed our proposals, such as the new bridge renovation. Capital investment is essential for the fabric of our communities and for future investment, particularly as we have to face the challenges of climate change, the uncertainty over the future of Tata, and the need to invest in economic development to ensure the viability of our county borough for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Any other member? Certainly confirm and echo your comments, but what comes with success is capacity and pressures on officers. So again, we all know what we need to do, and Nicola and her team are doing an exceptional job in this field, and I just want that to be taken back and remind members of when we have these successes, how much work is involved. So that's all I wanted to say on that. I now refer members to the recommendations on pages 111 to 112 within your agenda packs. I'm happy again to propose this agenda item. Can I have a seconder, please?
I'm happy to second, Chair.
Thank you, Simon. Can I ask if there's any abstentions?
I can see none, Chair.
Thanks, Jane. Members, if you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand, I will assume that you're in favour of the recommendations. And Jane, can you confirm again, please?
I can see no indication to the contrary, Chair, so that item has been approved.
Thank you, Jane. Agenda item 7 is Treasury Management Strategy, the Annual Investment Strategy and a Minimum Revenue Provision Policy. This report is on pages 123 to 144 and is here for a decision. I'll ask Hugh if he has anything further to add on this agenda item.
Once again, no, thank you, Chair. Diolch.
Thank you, Hugh. Members, do you have any questions? I don't see any. Thank you, Jane. I now refer members to the recommendations on pages 138 within your agenda pack. I'm happy to propose this agenda item. Could I have a seconder, please?
Happy to second, Chair.
Thank you, Simon. Can I ask if there's any abstentions?
I can see none, Chair.
Thanks, Jane. Members, you do not indicate to the contrary by raising your hand. I will assume that you're in favour of the recommendation, and Jane will once more confirm this for me.
I can see no indications to the contrary, Chair, so that item has been approved.
Agenda item 8 is the urgent items. I have received no urgent items this afternoon, and you'll all also be pleased to hear that ends the meeting and the business of this afternoon. Can I also thank you for your attendance and safe journey home for you, those of you here, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thank you.